Many of my friends always want to know how I learned English. How did you become so fluent in English? What are you doing that I'm not? What's your secret? Hello everybody, I'm Mama Monkey from monkeyonaCloud.com. Today I want to talk about how I learned English. I've always wanted to make a video about this topic, and I'm so glad I can share my learning experience with you today. Listening to me now, you're probably assuming that, she must have lived in an English-speaking country at early age, or study abroad, or one of her parents must be an English speaker. First, let me tell you about my personal background. I was born and raised in South Korea. I grew up in a household where we only spoke Korean. Both of my parents are Korean, they don't speak English at all. I finished all my school straight from kindergarten to graduate school in South Korea, made a living in South Korea until I got married and moved to the United States at the age of 34. I remember it was during summer vacation when I was 7 or 8 years old. Two young Korean American kids came to visit their grandparents who lived next door. These two young little boys could be a handful for my neighbors, so the old couple ended up setting up lots of play dates with me and my siblings. I did not understand what they were saying at all, but I was so curious and fascinated by the different languages that they were speaking. When my sister was 11 years old and I was 10, my mom signed her up for a home-based English program that provides kids with daily assignment and keeps track of students' progress by phone call and a weekly visit. Well, I did not have that first child privilege because the program was so expensive and my parents just couldn't afford that expense for all their kids. But I still had her textbook and extra materials like audio recordings that she had already finished. And the best thing was, I was completely free from all that assignments, phone calls, evaluation, progress report, and all that stuff. Nobody was forcing me to do any of those assignments. And I didn't have to try to please or impress my mom or the teacher, nor be pressured to work hard to advance to the next level. Some books grabbed my attention and I had the desire to explore them. I started to browse through the books and listen to audio recordings whenever I want to, and had the luxury to take breaks whenever I want to. So I was learning English at my own pace without having to follow any instructions. Later, I think she noticed that I showed some interest in learning English. So she started to bring home lots of used picture books and Disney movies little by little. She never taught me anything. She never taught me how to write alphabet letters. She never taught me how to read sentences. She never spoke English with me. Like I said, she doesn't speak English at all. All she did was just provide me with resources and some encouragement at times. And I was in charge of selecting materials and how much time I spent studying them. And she was only involved as a material collector and facilitator, not a teacher. I grew up listening to a lot of English audio contents. I watched English videos and listened to English pop music. At one point, my mom forced me to sit down and listen to the English audio tape, which I hated. I couldn't sit still and pay attention because I did not know what they were saying, and it was too boring without pictures and videos for a visual learner like myself. However, she was not a quitter. She decided to change her plan. So every morning she came into my room and pressed that button of my tape player and just left. So for a long period of time, I was woken up by listening to many different types of English recording. like Good Morning Pops and children's stories. Like feeling like a slug in bed, you have no option but to listen to that content until you finally got up and ready for school. In studies, they say your brain produces alpha waves in the morning, and alpha activities may reduce the stress and help you with memory. So I think that's how I obtained listening fluency and got myself comfortable with English pronunciation, intonation, and speed. I was really good at mimicking other people. I think that sped up my learning. I tried to imitate the way that people speak English and paid attention to how they make natural English sound. On top of that, when I watched the movie, I watched out for non-verbal clues such as hand gestures and facial expressions. Well, as we all know, motivation is the most important factors in language learning. When I was in junior high, I had a huge crush on an American actor named Sean Patrick Flannery, who played young Indiana Jones in Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. I wanted to learn English so bad so I can meet him and talk with him someday. If that celebrity you love only speaks English and you love them so much that you want to bury yourself in them, well, you've got to study English by all means. And I think that was the most effective form of motivation for me trying to learn English. I wasn't really happy about the academic English that public schools had to offer. The dialogues in the textbook seemed neat, unnatural, and artificial. In 90s, they use grammar translation approach to teach students English. They paid too much attention, grammar rules, pattern drill, and the memorization of words and grammar rules, and rather than communication skill. So I wanted to learn a real English, a real authentic English that people use in their daily lives. And the best resource I could find was comic strips on the newspaper. Calvin and Hobbes, Baby Blues, Garfield. I started gathering comic strips from the newspaper, and I had so much fun reading them over and over again, picking up useful expressions and some American jokes. I also had a pen pal when I was 14. I enjoyed getting to know someone my age in different country. And that was the stage that I kind of noticed my own mistake and try to work on accuracy in writing. So I used to copy nice sentences from books and study grammar intensively. I think I'm a great example of successful 엄마표영어. My story proves you that it is very important to pay attention to what the child is interested in. Trust your child. Give them opportunity to learn at their own pace so that they could become a self-directed, autonomous language learner in their later life. Today, I mainly talked about the early language environment that I was exposed to, my mom's support and strategies, some of my characteristics, and my learning method. And in the near future, I want to make another video about what strategies I've been using to improve my English as an adult. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!